Here we're just going to talk about the basics of Fodda and how it works and what it's for. The general idea is that you can plug Fodda into your LLM or your AI system. And because it sources from a massive network of experts and data, it means that your AI turns into a domain level expert, becomes an industry level expert using that data. And so what does that mean? Expert data. So we've spent the last 9 to 12 months gathering hundreds of data sources, whether it's working with journalists and researchers and thought leaders and creating databases that you can access. We've been working with industry leaders like PSFK to source trend research around different industry verticals. We have been interpreting and analyzing industry reports from some of the leading consultancies, including Deloitte, Nielsen, and Accenture. And we also have a lot of supplemental data that supports any of the findings, whether it's data from earnings calls, whether it's information from the US Census Bureau, whether it's Google Trends data. And so when a user is querying AI, or whether a machine is asking a question to AI, if Fodda is plugged in, they get a better answer because it sources this information. Often most of it is proprietary. Okay, but what does it mean, plug it in? If you come to the site and get yourself an MCP key, which is really as simple as signing up and getting, if you've heard of an API key, it's like MCP URL, you get a simple key, okay, and you can plug it into different sites. You can plug it into ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity as well. And so how do you do that? So there's an opportunity to customize. Here I am in Claude Web Experience. I can press the customize button and I click the connectors. The connector experience is really shows you how to customize your Claude experience, where you put your Gmail, your calendar and things like that, your GitHub. And with a simple click, I can basically add Fodda. And I just talked about the MCP key. And so you would go and get the MCP key from the Fodda sign-up process. Let's paste it here, click add, okay? And then you can ask questions. You can say, what are the trends in retail and education, okay? And because it knows that it's a trends research query, Claude will actually go to Fodda and ask for specialist information. And here we see Claude looking for tools, looking for what tools Fodda has, then searching the knowledge graphs, which is the way we have formatted the data within Fodda. And then it interprets the data, as you can see. And finally, it organizes the data and it outputs it in the same way that you would expect an LLM or your chatbot experience, okay? But instead of your chatbot experience where it looks at training data and web search data, which can be corruptible, we have proprietary databases which have exclusive content, which have been used for over 20 years in terms of providing rich insights. So if you give me a second, here comes the output, okay? And so here's Claude taking the Fodda data and outputting different themes. So it's talking within this theme, retail and education, it talks about different aspects about what's going on within the space. Now, what I like about Fodda, which might appear to be a downside, is when it doesn't have an answer, it's going to tell you. And probably one of the problems we have with LLMs right now is they please, and they're never really going to tell you when they don't have the answer. They're either going to try to make it up or go find something tangential. And so we spend a lot of time making sure that either we have the right information or we're going to tell you that we don't have the information, okay? So that's generally how to use Fodda today. There are different ways. So you can ask to do brand audits. You can ask to do deep research reports. You can ask a whole bunch of different ways, and we'll come on to that in a different video. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.